Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to those of you out there in Facebook or YouTube land. Welcome to those out on the pavilion on this cool but beautiful day. And certainly by no means least, all of you seated here in the sanctuary. In these very troubling times, it is good to be among people whose values of peace, justice, and love continue unabated. As we remain committed to these values, there is a greater chance that we may gain traction against the tide.
Oh, back to me?
Back to you, sir.
Already? Okay. Well, this morning I have the immense pleasure and I feel great gratitude in welcoming back to our sanctuary Nathaniel and Caroline Cornell, son and daughter of Brad and Martha. It feels really good to say both of these incredible people were graduates of our religious exploration program here at UUCGN. Nathaniel went from here to get his degree at Oberlin Conservatory of Music and then the University of Michigan. He's currently based in Ann Arbor. He is an active performer and educator throughout much of the Southeast Michigan. A versatile musician, Nathaniel has performed extensively with orchestras, string quartets, Baroque ensembles, and even as a chamber musician on cruise ships. He's a member of the Ann Arbor Symphony and frequently performs with the Toledo Symphony and the Detroit Opera. Caroline started studying violin at the age of 3 and eventually followed her brother to Oberlin, where she studied with C.B. Bernardson, and now a second-year graduate student at the Eastman School of Music. Caroline is pursuing her Master's of Music in Violin Performance with Professor David Bolin. Along the way, Caroline has participated in several orchestral and chamber music festivals, including Music Academy of the West, Harpa International Music Academy in Reykjavik, Iceland, in the Kinhaven Young Artist Seminar, the Chautauqua Institution, and Madeline Island Chamber Music Festival. And most recently, she has enjoyed teaching undergraduate students as the teaching assistant in her violin studio and performing occasionally concerts with the orchestra of the Southern Finger Lakes as their newest sectional violinist. So Nathaniel and Caroline are being sponsored by an anonymous donor in honor of Skip Lundborg and John Pipkin this morning, whose birthday we're going to be celebrating anyway. So welcome to you both. So glad to have you with us. And now we can applaud for that, I think. That's so great. I have some wonderful announcements for you today. So all part of our wonderful community. I'm going to start with a new thing, a 50-50 opportunity. So during this month of January, during the month of December, which starts tomorrow, and then we'll take a little break during our pledge drive. But we are putting out a box, or you can go onto the website, for 50-50 donations, 50% of which will go to helping support our 50th anniversary celebration, and 50% will go to Mission Peniel in Immokalee to help the migrant community out there. So it's a wonderful opportunity both to support the congregation and also to support a community in need just to the east of us. So it's a wonderful proposition. So go online, figure out what it is. A little bit more details are on the website. So check that out. There's also the giving tree is still out front, and I don't know if it's been stripped clean of little tags, but if it hasn't, it's an opportunity for you to pick a tag and buy a gift and bring it in unwrapped for the children of Youth Haven. There's a bus to the vigil this afternoon. If you haven't signed up, think about it. It's a great journey, a wonderfully energized group of people heading down to the vigil at the detention center. Leaves here at 2 o'clock. The silent auction is coming up starting next week and continuing to the following week. This is a fundraising opportunity for the congregation, but also an opportunity to bid on some really terrific items. Dinners and all sorts of wonderful things. Seamus has even donated a house party. In other words, you would donate on having Seamus come to your house, and you can host a party or a community gathering or whatever you'd like around Seamus's storytelling and music. So that's a wonderful thing. That's just one of many things that you can bid on. And reminder that the Holiday Music Fest is a week from Wednesday on December 10th. That's a congregation-wide wonderful Wednesday where we have an opportunity to sing together and enjoy some incredible music and refreshments. Don't forget that. And two other things. As you know, the Board of Trustees has recently established a communications committee, and they're seeking interested members to join in those efforts to market our congregation to the greater Naples region. So if you have marketing, advertising, public relations experience, or simply a strong interest in promoting UUCGN's values and offering to the broader market, please contact Chris Cowan over there after today's service or via email or phone. We're also interested in those with social media aptitude who can help generate excitement online about this congregation. Finally, and you'll hear more about this a little later, next Saturday, December 6th, an all-congregational workshop to help develop our new strategic plan. This is a great opportunity, and I said you'll hear a lot more about that throughout the service today. Now, let's take a deep breath and center ourselves for this hour with our prelude. On this morning from Key West to Fairbanks, Alaska, from Eastport, Maine to Honolulu, Hawaii, Unitarian Universalist congregations are gathering and lighting a chalice, symbol of our free faith and a beacon of hope for generations of seekers. Here in our own small corner of Florida, may we build on the Unitarian Universalist spirit found across this land and across the globe. May we find strength and courage in knowing we are not alone, that we exist in covenant with others who stand on the side of love, affirming and promoting all that is good day in and day out. Please join me in the missional chalice lighting response you'll see in your orders of service or on the screen. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to brighten the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's rise in body or spirit and join in our opening hymn number 360 in the gray hymnal. Here we have gathered. Matt, I'll be leading as best I can, so keep my microphone on. Seated. "12 and 13 years ago, this place was abuzz with some serious conversations. The previous settled minister, Katie Korb, had departed, and the interim minister, Len Plum, was working with the congregation to prepare for the next minister. But there were some real concerns, some things to work on. Members back then wanted to grow its programs and bring more folks into active participation. But the challenge was that there was real significant financial concern. Too many members gave nothing or little to the congregation, and the year prior to 2013-14, the congregation had worked under a deficit budget. So the congregation leadership engaged a consultant who worked with UU congregations across the country on their stewardship programs. And in September of 2013, the leadership gathered with the consultant in what was sort of termed a Next Steps weekend. And that weekend of conversation among the leadership and of the congregation resulted in ultimately 4 important things that have been really foundational for the community since that time. The first was just a total shift in the way the congregation did their pledge drive. Totally different from really asking for money based on a line item budget, which is not very exciting, to building a pledge drive based on the idea of generosity and the gifts that both you and the congregation offer one another. And that was incredibly successful and has been ever since. The other three things, and I'll talk about the second one in a second, was the development of a mission statement, a development eventually of a congregational vision 2020, which it happened in 2015, and then and also the sort of the strengthening of our plan giving program, our legacy program for our endowment. And those four things came out of that meeting. I did want to focus on the development of that mission statement that you see on the back of your order of service, and we just spoke a version of in a responsive reading. The congregation came together as a whole, 96 members of the congregation, in January of 2014. It was a three-day process, working again with the consultant from the UUA, a Friday night, most of the day on Saturday, and then Sunday after the service. And the idea was to both develop a strong sense of identity for the congregation, to develop a mission statement, to also begin on the process of what kinds of sort of visional language do we want to develop? What kinds of things are we really want to focus on? And also, further down the list, what kinds of goals and initiatives might we pursue over the next few years? And that ultimately resulted in the 2020 vision, which I'm not going to get into right now. But the language that they developed over that course of that one weekend with all those folks involved was what we share as our mission today. We are a welcoming congregation freely seeking intellectual and spiritual growth. We strive to create a larger community of peace, justice, and love. Some of the visional language we can really think of as still being things we'd like to think about: greater integration into the broader Naples community, become a leader in social justice witnessing, greater intergenerational interconnectivity, living out our UU values and be more visible as Unitarian Universalists, be good stewards of our organization, and deepen the spirituality of our members, integrate and involve seasonal congregations and year-round members to a greater degree. And a lot of that has transpired. A lot of that sort of strengthening of the congregation has certainly done that. And in terms of the 2020 vision, many of the goals that were set in that vision have already been accomplished. And one of them was the development of a diverse music program, availability for people whoever wants to be here, and we've developed both, at that time, 2 services and the pavilion to be able to accommodate as many people as we could. Lots of things like that. The solar panels on our roof was sort of resulted from that idea of wanting to be a strong supporter of the earth. So very successful, first of all, the weekend, and then the mission statement. I have to agree, always had a question in my mind about the mission statement itself. Because, I am a trained professional minister, dedicated to the spiritual sort of growth of you, our members, right? So I always was curious about why the word intellectual came before the word spiritual in our mission statement. Now, it's not a significant issue, but occasionally when I speak the statement, it crosses my mind, So, and I imagined that perhaps there was some significant and deep, conversations, philosophical and religious struggles around which to put first. And I do believe that the language reflects the congregation at that time. I certainly understand that. So in order to finally sort of scratch this itch that I've had, I did ask a couple of our wisdom keepers in the congregation, whether they remember any significant sort of discussions about that. And this morning I received the response, and I opened the envelope and I read, Tony, the short answer is no. But the long answer is that this exercise in the midst of a hectic 2-year period when we were struggling was an important one. So as I said, that's true. And the wonderful wisdom keeper who provided this answer also gave to me the initial purpose of this fellowship congregation way back in 1975 when it was founded, 1976. And if you have some time, I don't know if it's official, but down in Menaker Foyer, there's a new exhibit of the history of this congregation, and in that is a binder full of some of the old worship programs and also some of the newsletters. So it's really interesting to go through that. But here's the language that the founders of this community decided on, and I'm sure after some serious intellectual and spiritual conversation. Our mission is to be a community of free religious practice by seeking truth and freedom, affirming the use of reason, living with integrity and compassion, welcoming and respecting every person of goodwill, nurturing and educating and caring for people of all ages, working for social justice, and providing a place where these goals can be achieved so that we can help ourselves and others create a world of beauty, justice, peace, and love. So that was the first purpose statement of this congregation. And I think the second mission statement of our congregation sort of, it's really distilled that down into some beautiful words. Intellectual, spiritual, who cares, So I'm grateful for Walt Foley for providing that, and Sandy Brown for giving it some considerable thought. And let's center ourselves into a time of sharing and of meditation with the centering hymn. It's number 389 in the gray hymnal, Gathered Here. The words will be on the screen. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. We have this time to celebrate those joys we carry or share in the sorrow of those griefs that we hold. If you have a personal thing that you'd like to share coming from your heart, then raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone. Tell us your name and briefly what's in your heart. Please, no announcements or political things. So joys and sorrows. Green mic.
I have good news and bad news. I found out that the student that we thought from Guadalupe had been taken by the ICE people was not taken. Unfortunately, her mother was taken, and her mother was shipped to Mexico. But the daughter is safe, and she's applying to colleges.
Okay. Thanks for that. Important update, but still tragedy. Still tragedy, yeah. Elizabeth.
My cat unfortunately died, and I've got a new cat called Eclipse, and that's my joy.
Okay. Great, Eclipse, wonderful. Yep, okay.
Good morning. My name is Denise Stanley. Oh, and my husband and I found out yesterday that we're expecting another great grandchild. So we're very happy.
Another great grandchild.
Great. Great.
All right. Wow. We're still waiting our first grandchild. Well, first grandchild, let alone. Wow. All right.
Hello, this is Joanne Woback, and I am thrilled to have my dear, dear friend here visiting for Thanksgiving. Her name is Anna, and I know she would love to talk to any of you. She's a wonderful person. I've known her since we were 7, and she's my oldest and dearest friend.
Yeah. Welcome. Anyone else? Grateful for those joys those have been shared, those concerns that we all share, and cognizant of the fact that each one of us carries our own joys and sorrows all the time. That life has its ups and downs. Let's join in the spirit of meditation. Spirit of love and life, God of our deepest understanding. This world, our world, seems to shrink in size every hour. The news of once distant lands is now available at our fingertips. Yet at the same time, the world grows. It grows each moment in its complexity. How do we understand it all? How can we possibly navigate through this unpredictability of the life we lead? Creative Spirit, help us to understand that we are not alone. Help us to remember that it's not just the limits of our individual minds and bodies that define who we are, but we are shaped as much or more by other people and other happenings. For better or worse, the thoughts and dreams of our parents, the ideals of our friends, the opinions of our peers, the values we share in community, and in the world we experience every day have all taken part in the formation of what we mistakenly perhaps call ourselves. In order for us to keep up with a growing and changing world, we too must continue to grow and change. But we can't do that in a vacuum. It is good then that we have each other to lean on. It's good then that we have each other to listen to and to share with. It is good that we continue to build a response to this world together. Let's share some time in silence.
Melissa Harris Perry is a Unitarian Universalist, and she is currently the Maya Angelou Presidential Chair at Wake Forest University. She's working in several departments simultaneously. The Department of Politics and International Affairs, the Department of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, and the Program in Environment and Sustainability. And she writes, Unitarian Universalism is not attached to particular beliefs. Rather, it is committed to specific work, striking a balance between the openness to differing viewpoints on one hand and the fierce advocacy of shared ethical claims on the other. Our history is a rich, complex, imperfect, and collective struggle to balance these goals while at the same time building supportive communities. Having finally set aside divisive doctrinal battles, we seek a straightforward commitment to the fluid, open, and collective work of seeking our truths together while without assuming that we all share the same truth. Our work exists in finding practical and nurturing ways. Did you hear anything I was saying?
Yep.
All right. Our faith is a belief that we can embrace the common good through how we interact with one another by holding fast to our precept of inclusion, participation, and non-judgmental disagreement. Our faith is a practice of intellectual humility, reminding us of our own limitations. Our faith assures us that we are not alone and that we can be part of something greater than ourselves. The journey is joy. The companions are the comfort. The work is the faith.
couple of weeks ago, in our service, I shared the metaphor of a garden as related to the ongoing life of a congregation. The idea that you can't just leave a garden to tend itself. A garden needs tending. It needs pruning. It needs weeding. It needs new planting and removal of old. And so it's an ongoing process. And I think the metaphor is very, very fitting. And I like what Melissa Harris Perry had to say in terms of the work that we have of finding practical and nurturing ways to govern ourselves and our congregation by living out our commitments to openness and the democratic process, to equality and social justice, to personal exploration and disagreement without judgment. This also is the work, I think, that the Unitarian Universalist Association has been doing over the past, pretty much the past 8 years. And Matt, I'm going to be going through those slides, so let's do that. In the experiment, I'm going to work through the new values that the Unitarian Universalist Association has had, and I'm going to read a couple of these pages while you read along, and then I'm going to have you join in as a response to each of the values. When the slide comes up that says "We Covenant," I hope you'll join me in sharing that language. So we are built on the pact of 7 values, with love as the central value of all. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another. Go back one. We're accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through spiritual discipline of love. And inseparable from this foundation of love are the other 6 values, which are, now you can move, interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. And next, and this is us together, we covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. All right. So, pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. All right. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations and our association at large. Great. Transformation. We adapt to a changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. Equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We covenant to use a time wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Thank you. Not yet. So I think as you read that, I don't know if you were able to absorb the idea that this is, the faith is the work, as Melissa Perry said. The journey is the joy, and the companions are the comfort, but the work is the faith. And as an association of congregations, we have covenanted with one another to do the work of these deep values and what they mean to us and how we carry them out into the world. That is true also of, I think, of the vision that we created a year and a half ago now, together, the vision statement also on the back of your order of service, which speaks to the things that we as a congregation, we as a group of people came together to decide where we wanted to sort of look to the future, how we wanted to move into that. And it's all there. The same kinds of values are in that statement. Love, diversity, generosity, interdependence, justice, and equity. And of course, the idea of ongoing transformation, continuously adapting to a changing world. And how do we make these ideals more continuously manifested in our own lives and in the decisions we make as a congregation? All of those values are relevant to what we as a congregation aspire to do. And we do this democratically. That's a fundamental, foundational value in our movement. The idea of democracy was very much alive in the early days, even prior to the formation of the Unitarian or Universalist Association, in the town meeting model of governance adopted in the towns and villages of New England back in the 1600s. It was very much the antithesis of the monarchy that most New Englanders left behind in their homeland, governing by the consensus of the local people. Maybe the first No Kings movement, I guess. The world was a very different place then, and it was a different place 12 years ago, 13 years ago, when the congregation last completed a full framework for a vision. There was an effort just before COVID that sort of ended with COVID to create another 5-year plan. But in this time, post-COVID, with a government that is working pretty much in antithesis of the values that we hold together, it is time, I think, that we come together again and look at those values and think again about how we want to be in the world individually and also collectively. It's important work, not only because congregations that don't keep sharpening their garden tools, if you take that metaphor further, things become a bit dull and folks become a little too complacent. The work becomes harder. And in these times, in the challenges we face as a people, as a movement, as a congregation, we can't afford to have that happen. And so I guess my message to each of you and to you collectively is to continue that legacy of our movement's idea of the democratic process of continually working to tend our garden, of holding on to our congregational autonomy and decision-making by consensus and consent, by taking an active role, especially this coming Saturday, in the congregational workshop. I can guarantee you that it will be a meaningful time, and the work really is the joy. And I think you'll find that as well on Saturday. So, Skip, you're up.
It is our hope that the offering each week serves as a symbol of the richness, joy, and caring that this congregation provides. With every act of generosity, we support not only the growth of our own spirits, but also the many hands that reach outward touching lives in wider community with kindness and love. If you are watching on Facebook or later on YouTube, we don't want to exclude opportunities for you. We have 3 options for your donations. You can send your offering to the address that should be on the screen. Didn't work.
Nice try. There it is.
It's a time lag, that's all. You can send your offering to the address on the screen. You can go to the website and use the donate button, or you can use the QR code on the screen. This morning's offerings will be gratefully received. The ushers will come forward and serve you.
I've used the following poem by Rebecca Parker as an inspiration to you as individuals, at least once in the past. Today, I invite you to think in the collective, as an intentional congregation considering its work and its future. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question. What will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice, anesthetization, or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting that that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life, welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Let's have some fun and sing. Please rise and body your spirit. We're going to sing The Garden Song by Dave Mallett. My apologies to Dave for switching out the last verse. Follow along on the screen, please. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All you need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. When wheels, pick and stones, we are made of dreams and hopes. Need a place to call my own, for the time is near who made our friends among the people that we need. There's still much for us to do. Work hard to make our dreams come true. To plant the seeds of love and truth so we all may live in peace. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds are sown. Someone warn them from below till the rains come tumbling down. For those of you who register for this coming Saturday, the task force, the Strategic Planning Task Force, asks you to look at the emails that come out this week to each of the registered participants that contain 3 draft goals and 3 actions items to think about and to bring your thoughts to the workshop. We will be working with a UUA facilitator and table monitors and a scribe who will be trained this coming week. And finally, we intend to have a wonderful intellectually and spiritually stimulating community experience with both food and camaraderie. And now, all that we ever loved, all that we have ever been, stands with us now on the brink of all that we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a greater generosity of spirit, a deeper joy in this life we share. Go in peace, go in love. Have a wonderful day.